Hello, Abraham.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And the question is that when you're in a relationship, and I'm in a really amazing relationship, what's the best way to operate when you... what I've found in the relationship that I'm in, that when I open up and share what's going on with me, and we talk it through and get to the other side, it works really well. And that's going really well. And so if I'm in a relationship... For example, when I hear, and I love what I hear from Abraham, and when I hear if things are getting hard, to change the subject, I think that...
Not just change the subject, but withdraw your attention from the subject. That's really the reason that we would like you to change the subject, is to withdraw your attention from what's getting hard, because if you don't, it will just get harder. You just said the opposite of that to us, but it never works. In other words, you said we talk it through. Well,
Yeah.
You don't talk it through, you just make it bigger.
Okay, so, yeah, that's where I want clarity. I want clarity in, is it okay to just let it go and move on to something else
because
and
it's
continue
all right.
that?
Yeah, because it's all right.
Okay, it's all right. I got that really clearly. Okay. So when you were talking before and you were talking about Esther writing in her book,
Yeah.
when Esther was talking to Jerry, how would the two of you talk things out? How would you operate there?
Well, we want to talk
Please.
about Esther writing in her book, because this is something that is new that we've been doing together, that we've been encouraging her to do. So here's a condition that Esther has identified that isn't right. Mm-hmm. There's a condition that's not right. It's not right.
Yeah.
And so she'll write down the wrongness of this condition that isn't right, sort of poking at it and amplifying it and getting the momentum going of it, clarity, getting to the bottom of it. She'll write it out. It's not right. This condition is not right. And then she asks herself the question that we put to her: if this condition could change, then would it be all right? Then how would I feel? So then she writes, well, if this wasn't like it is, can you feel the not getting to where she wants to be with this process? Mm-hmm. It's a sort of trick that we trapped her into, but the epiphanies are so huge that are coming to her. Because as she identifies this thing that she does not want, this condition that she does not want, and then she identifies how she wants to feel, and she says to herself, if this condition would change, then I would feel these ways. What she's beginning to discover is that in the process of trying to determine the way she would feel if the condition would change, all it does is make her aware that the feelings that she wants to feel, she's not feeling, because she's focused on the condition, because the condition is not all right. Mm-hmm. You see what we're getting at?
Yes.
So now the epiphany that keeps coming to her is, wait a minute, I don't need to ask that condition to change in order to feel all right. In fact, my very emphasis upon the condition that needs to change so that I can feel these ways is taking me further from feeling these ways. Mm-hmm. The very exercise of trying to control an uncontrollable condition is holding me in a vibration, is changing my point of attraction, is depriving me of what I really want and who I really am. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why we call it the process of unconditioned. It's the process of not focusing on the condition. So this conversation that we're having with you, we are enjoying, because you started out with a similar premise. You said, I'm in this amazing relationship, and we know that you are. But sometimes there are things where we're not seeing eye to eye, and so we want to talk it out. And aren't you noticing that in the effort of talking it out, don't you just hold yourself vibrationally apart from who you really are long enough that you get weary of the conversation? Mm-hmm. In other words, what is the bottom that you're actually getting to? Are you finding the bottom?
I believe that I am. Yeah, I do believe that I am. I think that when we're talking it out, we both will make ourselves responsible for how we're feeling and encourage ourselves that way. And so I'm asking the question, is that the same as Esther writing it out and then getting her epiphanies as you're talking it out?
It is in this sense, and this is the thing that we want you to hear from us, because you're getting from your conversation, or Esther's getting from her process, something different than what you all think that you're going to get from it when you begin it. Mm-hmm. Because what you think you're going to get from it is resolution. But what you get from it instead is clarity of who you really are and what you really want. And if it goes on long enough, You get weary enough of it that
Yes.
then you begin to acknowledge the
Boredom of it all?
the futility.
Yeah.
The futility of it. You're looking for love in the wrong places. You're looking for clarity in the wrong places. This is what we want to come back around to. We want you to realize that as you've been living life, and even in the manifestation that you call a conversation that you're having with your partner, that's a manifestation, that's a living of life, that's putting things into the vortex too. So you're constantly having these step one moments where you're asking for clarity, or you're asking for more harmony, or you're asking for more understanding, or you're asking for more money, or you're asking for more vitality, or you're asking for more kindness. You're asking for all kinds of things. All day, every day, you're asking for more. So the step one is happening constantly. You can't stop it from happening because just your awareness of life is causing you to clarify who you are and what you want. Now, the part that most of you don't really understand, you'll get it once you make your transition into non-physical. You might catch glimpses of it as we speak it to you here. But the part that you really don't seem to understand, that we really would like you to understand, but we're not ready for you to croak in order to understand it, so we keep offering more words so that you will understand it, is that in all of this that you're asking for, there is a vibrational becoming that is already happened. It's done. Everything that you ask for, the larger part of you immediately becomes it. In other words, it's all right. It's all right. You've asked for it, and it has become. And the void or the lack of the manifestation of it that you perceive isn't real because it already has happened. It already is all right. It already has occurred. Now, sometimes you get glimpses of that. In other words, in the conversation that you're having with your partner, you're asking for something maybe bigger than you've ever asked for it before. And sometimes in the middle of that conversation, you catch a glimpse of it because your inner being is taking the expansion from the life that you are living and is experiencing the exhilaration of standing in that new place. Every time you live something and ask for something that you haven't asked for before, or even amend it or ask for it in a little more detail or in a little different way, the entire universe moves forward because of the experience that you've had. And we are reveling in the new awareness that you have provided for all that is through this that you have been living. The it's all right part that we want you to hear is that, so you've done step one and we've done step two. Yeah. In other words, the universe has expanded. But so often as humans, you feel the discord because you have caused expansion that you're not ready to be up to speed with. And that's the part that we're trying to give you the easy doorway into here. If you could just say, it's all right. If it wasn't so important that you wrestle it to the ground and kill it. If it didn't matter so much that you get somebody else to understand exactly what you're saying and agree with you. If you weren't looking for results right away, for people to start behaving differently. That's the thing that this book of unconditional love that Esther's been playing with, the thing that it has done for her is that she's beginning to realize that those conditions that she thinks that she needs to be different so that she can feel this way don't matter at all. Not one of those conditions has to change in order for her to feel the way that she wants to feel. And every time she finds one that she thinks she needs to change, only to discover that in the focusing upon it, it makes it worse, not better, one by one by one by one by one, Esther, you are too, is letting go of the conditions that she thinks she needs to have be different in order for it to be all right. Now feel what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
If life caused you to create it, and if it is vibrationally already complete, already created, then what is the path of least resistance for you to realize it in your experience? You've got to do something that causes you to stop exaggerating the vibrational variance between what is done and where you stand. In other words, you've got to find some way that you are no longer perceiving the absence of it.
Yep.
You've got to find some way where you're no longer beating the drum of it not being there when it is there. You've got to find some way of blending this vibrational world with this world that you are perceiving. And since it is all perceptual, then all you've got to do is find some things that work for you that cause you to say, it's all right, and mean it, even if it's not everything that you want it to be. It's all right.
Okay.
And in that stance, it is our promise to you that the rightness, the moreness that you put into your vortex will just begin streaming into your experience, where you'll feel clarity in moments, you'll feel love in moments, you'll feel sureness in moments, you'll feel sure-footedness. But most of all, and this is the thing that we want more than all other things because it's the manifestation that you seek more than anything, you'll feel the rightness of who you are, the all-rightness of who you are. People say, well, things improved for me when I found forgiveness. Well, this is the ultimate of that. It's the letting go of the absence of wanted. And when you let go of the absence of wanted, by exaggerating, by practicing the all rightness of where you stand, of making peace with where you are, then all of those things in the vivid details that you have identified will begin flowing into your experience with such rhythm, such steady rhythm, such ease, that you find yourself feeling the perfection of who you are. Never ended, always changing, but always right where you are. Can you feel? We know you can feel it. You're feeling it more than you've ever felt it before. But can you feel for a moment the way Source surely feels about you? And can you feel how there's never a moment, not from the viewpoint of Source, looking into your experience and wishing it to be different for you, longing for it to be different for you, demanding that it be different for you. There's never, ever any of that from Source. And when you do it, you get crossways of that, and you prevent the very things that you want from flowing into your experience. You got that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.